Minecraft morning. It's me, CrainBramp, the Minecraft admin and owner of the Mindsteria minigame network. Back for another plugin review / plugin setup tutorial. If you like plugin setup tutorials and other technical Minecraft information, just click the subscribe link down below and get your weekly, sometimes more, dose of Minecraftian goodness. I also do some other various types of videos such as gameplay, but admin tutorials are definitely one of my favorites, and that's what we're doing here today. If you have a specific plugin that you'd like me to review or show you how to set up, or just an idea for a technical video or another type of setup video, then put it in the comments below, and if I pick your suggestion, I'll give you a shout out in the video, and if you're running a server yourself, I'll be happy to show you the link to your server in that video. So today we're going to be talking about a nifty little plugin called FUBS Random Teleport. It's currently at version 1.71. It's been out for a while. It was released back in 2014, so it's a very mature plugin. It runs on both 1.7, 1.8, and 1.9, so it has a wide range of compatibility. Basically what the plugin does is it provides a command / random teleport, which they also have an alias, RTP, so you don't have to type that big long command, to randomly teleport a player to a safe, note, a safe location within a given radius around a given point. The nice thing about this is that it respects WorldGuard, factions, UUID, and core protect regions, and tries to teleport the player to the position with the least amount of protections around it. So if you are in a factions world, for example, this plugin will not teleport you into a hostile faction realm or anything else, so you can't use it to just sit there and spam and hunt for enemy territory. By default, it teleports you onto four different blocks only: sand, gravel, dirt, and grass. However, there is a force mode where it will only check to see if the block is air, lava, water, or cactus. In other words, a dangerous block. And if it's not one of those, then it will teleport you there. This is good for teleporting in the Nether or in worlds with heavy range of blocks that you don't normally have. For example, in Mindsteria survival world, I have nether regions actually in the overworld, so this helps because it'll teleport them onto soul sand and other type things. As a side note, this has full multi-world support. So if you have are using multiverse or multi-world, then you can use this command to teleport a player randomly into another world. This is really good if you have like a PvP world, or if you have your main world is just a lobby and you want to randomly teleport them into one of the other worlds. So you can teleport them back and forth across worlds and all that good stuff. So it's got a number of permissions. I won't cover them all, just suffice to say that it is configurable enough with permissions that you can only allow certain groups to do things, and you can have your admins and your ops do the admin work. The command is / random teleport. As I said, there is an alias called RTP, so you don't have to type that. And in the config, there is a default preset, and if you just do RTP, this uses that default. Or you can put a number of flags behind it, such as minimum range, maximum range, and quite a few others. I'll talk about those right now. Minimum range is the minimum number of blocks it will teleport you away from the given point. Maximum range is the maximum distance. And then we talked about the center point. By default, it uses the point where the player is standing, but you can set a hard point that teleports from. This is really good. For example, the world that I'm going to be using for this test is pre-configured and pre-generated out to 2,000 block radius. So I want to, I don't want players generating new chunks. I've actually set a world border on that, and what I'll do is I set my random teleport at 0, 0 as my center point. I put a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 2,000, so it only teleports within my world and uses the center point of the world. This is really good because let's say you have a server with only a couple of people on it and you haven't generated your map yet. If they just keep spamming RTP, they're going to teleport eventually into some area of your map that hasn't been generated yet. The server's going to have to generate the chunk as they teleport in. That's going to cause lag. The more people you have doing that, the worse the lag becomes. And conceivably, if you have enough people doing it, it could crash your server. So this is another reason why I'm always a big proponent of pre-generating your worlds using World Border. You've got your dash P, so you can teleport other players. This way you can also use this through the console. You've got X and Y, which, X and Z, which are the center points that you can use. Like I said, the default is where the player is standing, or you can specify that. Dash W is the world name. It defaults to the world that the player is in. But you can choose any world that you currently have created. That is not a server, that is a world, as in multi-world or multiverse. Dash C is a cooldown in seconds, so that you can force the player to have a cooldown between using these commands. You know how players love to spam commands again and again and again and again. So cooldown helps with that. Dash F is force. Remember, we talked about it up here. Normally it only teleports you to sand, gravel, dirt, and grass. With force, it will only check to see if there is a potentially destructive block underneath you, such as air, lava, water, or cactus, and will put you down on any block other than those. You can also do that would be dash F blocks. You can also do dash F region, where it will ignore regions, or you can just do dash F and it will ignore both. Dash B, if you want to select the biomes that it should only teleport you to, you can do one, or you can do a list of them. You'll use Bucket's biome enum names, or Spigot's, or Minecraft's, however you want to do it. Say it. Dash L is only searches for valid locations in loaded chunks. There's a warning on this, and it's a good thing. Remember that Spigot only loads chunks where players are at normally, and maybe the spawn. So if you've only got a couple of people on your server and you do a /L to make sure that they only teleport into loaded chunks, that may be a very, very small area. And it could actually fail depending on how you have your command set up. So you can also do presets in the config. We'll talk about that when we get to the config, and you can do preset signs. So let's go on and take a look at the config file. Installation is as normal. You simply download the plugin, stick it in your plugin directory, restart your server. It will create a random teleport folder, inside which will be a cooldown.map file, which is a plugin map, a plugin file. Shouldn't be player editable, that it uses just to keep track of who's used commands and what their cooldown times are. And then there's config.yml. It's very small. You've got one option for debug, either true or false. Of course, it's set to false by default. And then you've got the presets that I talked about. Here is the default one that if you just do /RTP or /random teleport, it uses. Right now it's set to a minimum of 100 away from the player's location. Remember, we're not using -X or -Z right here, so it's using the player as the center point. A minimum of 100 blocks away, a maximum of 1,000 blocks away, with a -F for a force. And then a test, which is RTP with a 10, a 200, and a -F again. So here are your messages. All the messages for the plugin are configurable, which is very nice. You know that I have a fond place in my heart for plugins with configurable messages, simply because it allows you to make the plugin your own and tailor it to what you need on your server. So let's go on without further ado and log into the server and take a look and see what this plugin can really do. So now that we're logged in, as I said, there is a default already, so if you do RTP, it's going to use that default, which is a minimum of 100 blocks away, a maximum of 1,000 with a force. So RTP, you can see that it's told me that at random teleport is searching for a safe place in the world, which is my current world, and it teleported me to -66, -531, and then it gives me my Y. So we can do that again and keep doing it. So let's go back to spawn. Now, you know that with Spigot, you can create command aliases, and this is a really good option for this particular command. Rather than having to teach your players how to use RTP or setting a bunch of defaults and them having to do /RTP wild or whatever they have to do, you can go on and set some command aliases. I've already done that. The way that you set those is you look in your base server root, and there will be a file called commands.yml. If you open it up, the format is 2 spaces, and then you put the name of the command that you would like to use. This will be, in this case, wilderness. In game it will be /wilderness, and I have another one right here called wild. In game it will be /wild, so it's / whatever you put here. And then you skip down, do a dash, and then put the command that you want to do without the /. So in this case I'm going to do RTP, which is random teleport. I'm going to do a minimum of 0, a maximum of 2,000. Remember I told you that my world was pre-generated out to 2,000 blocks. And I'm going to set my my point, instead of using the player's point, I'm going to do it at 0, 0. So the plugin will choose a range to teleport them from the center of the map out to 2,000 blocks. And we will do -F blocks, which means that it will only just check for destructive blocks, but it will still honor the regions. If I took this block off and did -F, it would ignore both blocks and regions, but I don't want it to do that. So we're going to have wilderness and wild. So what will happen is in game I can simply go /wild and it teleports me randomly somewhere in the wilderness. This would be really good for faction servers. And as you can see, it's teleporting me randomly. I'm getting some good mixes here. 1038, -16, 54, 45, 1039, -21. So I'm getting around pretty good. So let's go back to spawn. Now we're going to take a look at the signs. Now random teleport is a little bit different in the way it does signs. Most plugins want you to do your sign identifier on the top line, such as brackets, for example, leader heads. Random teleport wants you to do it on the second line. So go on and hit enter, and then put random TP in brackets, and then the name of your preset. It will tell me that a preset sign has been created. There was another one called test. So we're going to go on and do that. Let me get another sign really quick. So give it a space, do random TP, and then test. And then I can do the same thing with any other presets I make. Now remember, I said that you have to do it on the second line. I'll show you. If you do it on the first line, it simply will not work. Notice I didn't get the confirmation, and if I right click it, nothing happens. But if I go over here to default, it does the same thing. So go back to spawn, I'll show you that the test one works. Same thing. Alright, now I couldn't do one, for example, random TP wild, because the preset wild doesn't exist in the plugin. I made that alias in the commands.yml file. So there you go. That is a oh, and to destroy a sign, you simply click on it. There's a permission for it. So that is the FUBS Random Teleport, and I showed you a couple of different ways to do it, and a neat way to do aliases for commands in game. And I hope you really enjoyed the setup tutorial. The subscribe link is down below, and have a great Minecraft day.